I'm definitely going to need some grace to get through this video. And I'm just hoping that my genuine passion and irritation that I have does not get mistaken for me being aggressive, as y'all often do, because y'all asked me, hey, you should do a video on the 2 kids that got found dead. They was froze to death in the car with the mom, and you should do a video on that. And I said, no, I'm not going to do a video on that because I don't like to speak on things. I don't know the situation. I don't want to speak on anything until I began to do my own research. And now I feel comfortable enough to speak on the situation. Y'all wanted me to make this video about the dad. How could the dad be such a deadbeat dad? I've seen every meme in the world about the dad being a deadbeat. And how did y'all manage to flip this over on the father? Sat there and watched that lady's body language. I watched her mama body language. I watched her friend body language. I sat there and listened to a woman who has 4 or 5 kids, I'm not sure, 4 or 5 kids, sit there and not take any accountability, none whatsoever. And when they say that women is allergic to accountability, it's a real thing. I sat there and watched the world literally just turn on the dad because the dad should have did something. And the mom asked the dad and the dad and the dad, what about the mom? You mean to tell me that when people such as myself get up here and say, y'all need to stop having kids, y'all just have kids, don't got a plan, just pushing them out, you need to mind your business. Y'all need to stop worrying about other people and how many kids they have. You ain't got to take care of them, but neither are y'all. Y'all don't take care of these kids. Hence the reason we just lost the 2 babies in the car that froze to death. We're going to play some of her clips. I like to go off of facts.
With a female and the parents and them don't want kids there or something.
She also asked the city of Detroit for help.
Okay, so you said you asked the father and he said that he was living with other girls and things like that. Okay, so is that far-fetched? Do you know how many men is laid up right now underneath a woman because they need shelter? Do you know how many women are not going to be so open to let a man bring his 4 or 5 children inside of their house? Why was that so hard or so far-fetched to him? A lot of y'all are friends with women who lay up with men who don't take care of their kids and they live with a woman. A lot of y'all are the men that's laid up with the women not taking care of your kids. So why was he just put on forefront like that? He's just as homeless as she is. He's just as responsible as she is.
So they don't have family beds.
So the 7 of them had been sleeping in their 2002 Town and Country van since November. But the kids had everything else.
They ate every day, all day. Goodies, food. They didn't want for nothing. Every day they went to school. I had one mistake.
Every time I watch the video, I get disgusted because all I seen was her blaming everybody else for her situation. I asked the city of Detroit for help. They didn't help. I asked the shelter. They didn't have a bed. I asked people. I asked that. I did everything I could. I did nothing wrong. For you to sit there and say you've done nothing wrong is insane work to me. So you did nothing wrong as the mother, but the father did something wrong as the father. At this point, she's being extremely performative because she knows that the world is going to cater to her tears that's barely falling down her face. I did everything. I only did one thing wrong. Those kids had everything. They had snacks. They had goodies. I fed them. They had electronics. They had everything they need except the house to stay in. They had everything they needed except the house to stay in, yet they found the baby in a diaper and a t-shirt. They had everything they need except the house, yet y'all only had 2 blankets that was shared amongst 7 or 8 of y'all. They had everything they need except comfort of being comfortable on a cold night where you could have given them extra layers of clothes, where you could have given them. My thing is this: if them kids is so spoiled and got everything they need, why don't everybody got their own blanket in the car? This is your lifestyle. Y'all been living in the van since November. That's what you said. You said every day these kids get up and they go to school. I need to understand, how do these kids get up and go to school every single day like you say when y'all made y'all first phone call to 911 at 12:17 p.m. I am very familiar with Detroit and in any other school system. School starts at 8 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. We the people need to understand if their bodies are used to getting up to go to school every single day, because I know that my alarm clock goes off at 7:15 every single day. And every single day I'm up at that time because my body it's routine. And so I need to understand, if these kids get up and go to school every single day like you say, let's just say by 9 o'clock, you mean to tell me nobody noticed that this little boy wasn't up to go to school? Y'all made a phone call at 12:17. That's when you realized that it was time for him to get up and go to school? At 12:17 is when you realized it was time for him to go to school. And he go to school every day.
And the kid's grandmother, 49-year-old Yvette Goodman, was also in the van that day. Did the van run out of gas?
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke...
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
And when you woke up, what happened?
My grandson wasn't moving.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family.
And that's one of the reasons we...
How is the mother also living in the van with her? 2 siblings and 4 kids. 8 of y'all total inside of this van. 2 adults. And the first thing you want to say is, you don't know what happened. I don't know. I fell asleep. I don't know if the car ran out of gas. This was the only night I fell asleep. Any other night I'm up, but it's below 0. It's cold. It's freezing, but I'm in a super deep sleep that I'm so asleep that I ain't wake up till 12 o'clock to realize these kids was fried. I was comfortably froze asleep. Yeah, but the dad had on 2 coats, fresh retwists, and he was at the gym when they called. I don't know if a lot of y'all know or not, and y'all probably don't, but the gym is nothing more than just a stress reliever. So the father is actually doing his interview outside, but he better not show up with a coat on, because that makes him the deadbeat of the year. But the mom is sitting down inside of somebody's house on a porch with a pink coat on, while the kids died in her possession. And we gonna cry for her. This is not about who was right, who was wrong, because as far as I'm concerned, all 3 of the adults failed those babies. But I don't like how y'all literally sit up there and try to crucify the father, but ain't nobody said nothing about the mother or the grandmother when them children was in that woman's possession. If the dad ain't been around like y'all say in the last 2-3 months, then why are we banking on him to come around now? The kids was already without the father, which means that the kids was in the mother's possession. You are fully responsible for the condition that they was living in. You're fully responsible for the condition that they passed away from. I've seen in her 0 accountability being taken from the mother or the grandmother. All I heard was, it's the shelter's fault because I called in November and nobody called me back. It's the city of Detroit's fault because why don't y'all got more places for people like me and my 5 kids to come stay? It's the dad's fault because how dare you got a new fresh retwist, and how dare you got somewhere to stay with a girlfriend but I don't. It's the family's fault because, oh, nobody wants to have me and my kids in the house because people don't like too many kids. It's everybody else's fault. It's not your fault that you got 5 kids, not to mention you had a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old, which lets me know that you're still having children that you know you are not in a position to take care of. That I don't understand. Like, every single adult is responsible for this situation. Every single adult has failed these babies that has lost their lives. And I don't believe that the mother should be getting a GoFundMe. I don't believe that she should be getting no house. I don't believe that people should be donating. What are we donating to? Negligence? The fact that you neglected your children? Anybody can fall upon hard times. Who are we to judge? But for some odd reason, it's not really given falling upon hard times. It's given that you and your mother was living in a van together, which is giving lifestyle to me, which is giving that this lifestyle was never structured. The fact that these kids really aren't getting up going to school every day lets me know that this life is not structured. I don't believe that she deserves a GoFundMe. I don't believe that people should be helping her get a house. I believe that those kids should be taken from her and placed in a place where they can really be properly cared for, because guess what? On the coldest night, the kids didn't have a blanket. On the coldest night, they didn't have clothes on. On the coldest night, they was improperly dressed. You say you do everything for them, but it does not give that. I need for them to investigate the situation. How many days have these kids really missed from school? Let's run some cameras to see exactly where y'all was at. I'm having a hard time believing that y'all all was in this car asleep till 12 o'clock the next day. So unlike everybody else, the dad is a deadbeat, the mother is an extra deadbeat, and the granny is an extra deadbeat. Generational poverty.